Legends, welcome to another episode of the Interchange podcast. I am Ben Lowe, your host, and today I'm joined by Matt Kelly, who is a client and friend of mine now after working together for the last 4 months in the New Age Man community. Now, when Matt and I first met and started working together, he was struggling with drugs and alcohol as a way of self-sabotage. And this would probably be due to the high pressures that he faced from, number one, playing Aussie rules football at a high level, as well as also being a business owner of multiple businesses. Now, Matt, we've been working together for the last 4 months, bro, and in that time, the growth that I've seen in you has been absolutely phenomenal, just the way that you're showing up for yourself now. But I guess taking you back to when we first started working together, like what was life like for you then?
Yeah, I guess, first of all, thanks for having me on. Much appreciated to share a bit of my journey and my story.
Stoked to have you here, bro.
No worries. So a bit about my journey, I guess. As you mentioned, business owner. Me and a business partner started up. I think we've been going 10 years together now. Yeah. From the ground up. So started from zero on the tools, slugging it away, hard yakka.
Building houses.
Yeah, domestic houses.
Started from like literally just building houses individually, right?
Yep. So bathrooms, decks, pergolas, all the smaller stuff. Obviously, got to work your way up the ladder in the construction industry to eventually get the trust of big paying clients. Yeah. Slugging away on the tools. Late nights quoting. Not a lot of time on your hands and not a lot of money coming in the door. Yeah. Reinvesting into the business. All the general stuff that people probably hear about business owners and hard knock stories. So been through the trials and tribulations of business in the early days, not being paid, clients not paying at times. So been through it all. But and then on top of that, me and my business partner are both heavily tied into football clubs and playing Aussie rules footy at pretty much a semi-professional level.
Wow.
There's a lot of high-paid players that either come ex-AFL or just genuine superstars. Yep. The pressures of that, a lot of training, 3 days a week training, 2 days a week gym. It's a 5 day a week commitment just about. Yep. Especially if you want to perform at a high level.
Of course.
Being in business, also want to perform at a high level, take that into your personal life. The candle starts to get burnt at both ends a little bit. Yep. And then obviously with the Aussie culture, the Aussie drinking culture that gets floated around a fair bit. Take that into a sporting club. Everyone wants to play footy at a high level, work their asses off at training. Then comes the weekend. What do? You want to celebrate a win.
Of course. And so that's, I guess, something that we definitely see a lot in Australian sports in general. Not even just Australian sports, but worldwide sports, right? Drinking, taking drugs is such a big part of that culture, right? And for you, I guess, being that you were performing at a high level, how did that sort of take place? Because obviously you're training all week, then you'd have a game, right? And then weekend is just like, we celebrate. Even if you like win, lose or draw, you're out there, you're going to get on it because it's almost like the way of blowing off steam. And it's the same in business, right? Yeah. It's like I've had such a big work week, obviously working hard, putting in the wins, stacking the ruts on the board, and then get to the weekend, it's like, I need to blow off steam. And how did we do that?
Yep, just pretty much through drinking. And there's drinking, drugs. There's always a function at the footy club or every second week, which is your home games. Yeah. So there's a function on and footy clubs are all about culture and building good culture. It's how you build good teams. And it's the same in business a bit. You want to build a good culture with your team so they're going to perform for you. The thing is with footy clubs, it's high pressure to perform and you want to blow off steam like you said and everyone just goes and drinks and that's the Aussie way. You're sort of brought up around that and it just continues really. But I think the stigma around it is changing a little bit, but it's still heavily there. Of course. Drinking, drug use is everywhere. It's everywhere in society. Yep. It's a problem everywhere. It's a problem at professional level sport. Pressures in business certainly added on top of that to blow off steam and to de-stress, to run away from your problems. But I think on top of that also of me being in business and starting to get a bit of success in business.
Of course.
That the self-sabotage starts to come in and they're not worthy enough and don't deserve this success and all these type of thoughts come into your mind and you start thinking about that a lot and what do you want to do? Yeah, you want to go out on the weekend and blow it off and, puff the chest out.
It, right?
The chest out at the local bar and the nightclubs and, I'm the man, I'm playing footy, I'm this good, I'm in business, I've got this going on. Then when you start to go all right in business, start to get a little bit of money starts rolling in the door. So, you know, doesn't really matter. You're flicking money off everywhere. You're buying drinks at the bar.
Now you're even more of the man, right?
Even the more of the man. The ego starts coming.
Yes, bro.
And then you puff your chest out more. And then, then you're just flipping drinks. You're buying drinks for everyone. And then it's just a spiral. And then it's just every weekend. And then, as I'm uncovering in the New Age Man, the stopping the drinking, the drug use, the feelings, thoughts and emotions start popping up, and start having to feel the feels and start facing the reality really of your emotions and your thoughts that you've suppressed for so long.
Experiencing human life as it's meant to be experienced. But before we go too far into that, man, because I feel like we can definitely go off on that tangent for a very long time, I'd love to take it back to, I guess, you growing up, man. And from what I understand of you, Matt, sport has been a really big part of your life for a very long time. And I think that if we look at sport and business, they're both very relatable, because it's like you've got metrics, you've got ways of tracking your results, right? And that's, I guess, from what I've heard with what you're saying there, it's like you want to perform highly in business, but you wanted to perform highly in sports. Was that something that was instilled in you from a young age? And if so, how was that, I guess, growing up as a young man?
Yeah, definitely. They are very relatable. I use a lot of analogies with our team at work, from sporting into business, around team and culture and leadership, and a lot of analogies to our team around that, and how to get the best out of our team. And our business coach talks a lot about that as well.
Yeah, talks about sports specifically, and obviously how it's transferable.
How it's transferable,
love that.
Definitely.
So how was it for you, I guess, in your younger years, with sport coming into the picture and obviously having to perform at a high level?
Yep. So obviously playing sport from a very young age, like as soon as you could pick up a footy, cricket bat, whatever, from the ages of 3-4 years old.
What was your first sport?
Definitely footy.
Yeah.
Footy is what I can remember. I like Aussie rules footy.
Yeah.
Oz kick. It was called Vic kick back then, which was mainly Aussie.
Oz kick, right?
Yeah,
so it is.
So back when I was younger, it was called Vic kick, because obviously in Aussie rules is heavily Victorian, which is where I'm from. So
we won't hold that against you.
Yeah, down in Mordor.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that one took me a second. Yeah.
So and my family, my dad was heavily into his football and cricket as well. My uncle and my grandfather was a really handy cricketer back in the day, and footballer as well. So just grew up around it. Grew up around sporting clubs and all that sort of the culture.
Yeah,
that's all I knew.
And there would have been like almost a certain level of expectation placed on you because of that.
Definitely, my old man was definitely pretty hard on me growing up. That was a lot of my memories were, not if I didn't perform, he'd certainly be telling me.
Yeah.
Those early ages of 10, 11, 12, 13. You could have done better today. I thought you were okay, but you probably could have done better, or you were shit today. What's wrong with you? And I didn't really think about it too much, and probably didn't really process that at all at the time, or even growing up, until probably the last 4 months. I'm 37 years old now. That's 25 years ago.
Wow.
Getting off the piss, getting off the gear, and really starting to do this deep work that you've mentored me through, and along with the other boys in the group as well, to process sort of where a lot of our thoughts and beliefs have come from, and not really knowing that until now. But it's been hard to process at times, and trying to understand how my thoughts and behaviours have been in my life. It's been difficult and uncomfortable, as you said it when I joined. It'd be freaking uncomfortable.
The first conversation we have, I'm like, even though this call's been uncomfortable, this is nothing compared to what we're about to go through together.
Yeah, and it's still uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and I'm not completely healed, or I'm not the man yet, or anything like that. But
you're never completely healed, brother.
Nah, there's still plenty of learning and growth to go. But peeling those thoughts up, I remember specifically on a deep dive call that we did do as part of the New Age Man, that a lot of this stuff was processed when you were digging at me hard. And I remember sitting, obviously we do that stuff online. I remember sitting in my chair and I had the aircon on and it was cold and I was sweating and I could
I remember
just
seeing you
feel
just moving, bro. Your body was just like, you're like,
yeah.
you could feel it moving through your body, right?
Yeah, so I remember it just being so uncomfortable in that moment, and but yeah, the following days after that, and a few of the exercises that you got me to do specifically around that fatherhood stuff is it's literally felt like a lot of weight off my shoulders and a lot of tension built up in my body. Feels like it's definitely gone, and that is just from those 2 to 3 years from early on in my sporting, with my childhood in my sporting, that a lot of this pent up anger and stuff has come from. And to realise that, peel that open 25 years later is, it's been it's a lot of relief is what it feels like. But just from those little moments of having that pressure on you at such a young age, and I didn't know what that was like, and obviously through my whole football career or business life was, you've got to do better. And that's all I thought. You can be better. You can do better. It's probably helped me to a degree, but it certainly has been unhelpful around a lot of self-sabotaging behaviours that I've had over the years.
I think definitely talking into that, like you said at the very beginning of this podcast, sometimes burning the candle at both ends. And it's like, when is enough enough? There's no such thing as enough. You're never enough. And it comes back to that feeling of not being enoughness within yourself, right?
Yep.
And would you, I guess, actually, I'll get you to talk into this, like with the conversations and interactions you used to have with your dad around, I guess, your sporting performance, how did that then affect your beliefs of self and your feelings around self? Yeah,
for sure. I think it definitely is stemmed into a lot of other areas of my life. And at the time, for the last 25 years, I didn't really know. I just thought that's how everyone was, or how everyone thought that. Why wouldn't you want to do better? But some people are so happy with themselves and so not happy with themselves, so content with their own self and their own being and their own life, right? So comfortable doing what they're doing. And I guess, and that's probably why some people go into business, because they're up for the challenge and up to go for the shit to get to the crown jewel. And that's why some people are happy to go along and just be an employee, which is completely fine. Yeah. But having those from back in the early days of being told you're not good enough, like just around my sporting performances, it certainly just created a belief of not being good enough, or you can do better in anything that I'd set out to do. And we spoke about this the other day about perfectionism and everything has to be, well, as good as it can be, and always chasing perfection, which we've started to work out that's nothing is perfect.
Like the conversation we're having, right? I've had people listening, like, said to you, how do you quantify perfect? Because, I mean, if you're trying to reach perfection, that means there's a goal you're trying to reach, and a goal is something that's tangible. Otherwise, you're consistently chasing your tail, always trying to reach for something that's non-existent. So, like, how do you quantify perfection?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember sitting there, same thing. I could feel my back getting all sweaty because you were just questioning me. Like, I was getting queried. I'm like, how do you quantify? I'm like, I don't know, just my expectation. I couldn't answer the question.
Yeah, well, what is your expectation then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that has stemmed from 10, 12, 11 years old. And, it's still work that I'm doing on myself as part of your community. And, and it's only helped this minute amount in my life, but it's certainly been a thing that I have pushed away for so long through, drinking and drug use, and and it's just it's actually amazing that I'm uncovering this stuff this later in life, which is, I guess, going to help me set myself up later. If I don't have a family at the moment, but if I do have kids or anything like that, I can be very present in their lives growing up and give them that present father that I guess I never had.
And this is the thing, like it's really interesting to look at that, because he was obviously doing the best with what he had available to him because of what had been passed down to him, but you now have the opportunity to break those generational traumas, to break those generational beliefs and, those patterns of behavior. And that's probably why it feels so uncomfortable, because this is the way that things have always been done. So this is the way that things will always be done. So it's like almost like you're setting a precedent of how things are going to be from here moving forward. And that in itself is an uncomfortable thing, because it's almost uncharted territory within your family.
Well, it is. And I was recently, me and my old man kind of pushed him away a fair bit for a long time. Like,
bro.
He's, and this is where my behaviour stemmed from. He drank his whole life and, probably still is an alcoholic, but he certainly turned himself around a lot, which is good. And we've reconnected a fair bit after the work I've done with you. And, you've been able to coach me through a lot of the stuff with him as well. And he's made some really good positive change in his life. And I think around the fatherhood stuff, there's been, well, for me, it was, it has been very difficult. And
difficult in what way? Tell me how do you quantify difficult? You love these ones, eh?
I'm going to get sweaty.
Oh, the back's getting sweaty. No, but so difficult in what way, Matt?
I guess, sort of not talking to my old man after, trying to help him. But I look back on when I was trying to help him, because he was a massive drinker, and, that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
He was a massive drinker, and I was trying to help him, but I was trying to help in the wrong ways, because I'm just like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You're fucking your life up. Why don't you want to not drink and be in my life? But what I'm realising now, the work that I've done, is that's not how to deal with those people.
If someone said this to you, right? If someone did this to you, mate, you're being okay, think about your dad doing this to you. You're being a fucking idiot. Do better. Why you keep doing this? Like, how's that going to be received, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wild, hey.
And I remember the work I've been doing recently, in the communication month we had last month.
Yeah.
Was around, instead of saying the words you and you sort of, they're like demanding words, or you should do this, and even communication with your partner. I think we talked a bit about that one week. Yeah. And how we should communicate with your partner as well, and even like your friends and family, of how to get them to guard down and listen. Yeah. And I remember after that, doing that communication month, thinking back, I'm like, no wonder he just kept drinking and was like, nah, I'm not being told what to do, because that's how I was communicating to him. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, I don't want to be in your life. I don't want to be a part of your life. And since we've distanced ourselves, I think he's done a bit of work on himself as well, which has been great. Yeah. And we've been able to reconnect, which has been bloody, 10 or 12 years of sort of just butting heads and not really going anywhere. And it's been, it's been a full circle moment. And we've been chatting a lot recently, which is good. But getting back to your question around the generational stuff in our family, I was actually having the same conversation with my uncle as well. Oh, wow. Because he's same thing, just loves drinking piss, and it's all about getting on the piss and having fun. That's right. That's the only way they know how.
That's the crazy thing to me. Like, it's like, you think about this. Like, my dad's the same. Home from work, half a bottle of scotch. That's what he does every night. But that's how he winds down. That's what he does.
And so when I was chatting to my uncle, actually, because he's kind of like he's my uncle. He's kind of like the big brother I never had, though. When we were growing up. So I don't know how old he's. Oh, he's about 12 years old. So you guys are quite close. Very close. Like, when I was growing up, he was a chippy. I was doing my apprenticeship. We ended up working for the same guy, so I was kind of working under him. So sort of had him on a pedestal as, someone who I looked up to a lot. Yeah. And played a lot of sport together, a lot of cricket together.
A lot of relatability.
A lot related. So many activities to do together, like motorbike riding, golf, and got a couple of years of footy before he retired. Played a fair few years of cricket together, like won premierships together, like a lot of stuff that we bonded over. But we're also family as well, which is to me was so special. And now I look back on that and go, geez, how good was that? And he's had a few challenges recently around. He works overseas now, so when he comes back, it's 3 weeks home, into the piss. Yeah. Who can I catch up with?
Does like fly in, fly out type role, right? So it's like go away, work really well, and then like comes back. It's just like, okay, how can I blow off steam?
Pretty much. And I was having a chat to him about it. He's he should be a bit old and responsible now, but he still is, still got those cheeky, playful sort of side to him. Sort of still got those, still almost like that young 20-year-old,
boyish charm, right?
boy.
Yeah.
Still likes to, actually do boy things.
Yeah.
And I was having a chat to him about it, and I was talking to him about the stuff that I've been doing in this program, and he was like, I think I actually could see in his eyes, he was starting to process. He's like, oh, what? Like he didn't think there's another way. Like he's believe that all you do is you work hard, you play hard, and that's why I'm here to break our break the stigma, but also break our family generational trauma.
100%, man.
So the other side of that is when I was talking to my old man after the stuff that you coached me through of like you need to go and have a conversation with your dad, write a letter to your dad. Like writing that letter was fucking, the back was real sweaty that day.
I bet, bro. I can imagine.
But then going and seeing him and actually delivering that, and then making him read it in front of me, like I was shitting myself because I was brutally honest in that about my experience in my childhood and what the stuff that I was saying before about telling me I wasn't good enough, and I wrote all this stuff in this letter, and I'm like, is he going to just turn around and whop me here, or what's going to happen?
He's got your hands like cocked behind your back, ready to throw ones and twos.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but I'm ready for him.
But it was received so well, and same thing again. I'm so grateful for the work and the coaching, the mentoring that you've given me. I remember, we voice note a lot.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
I remember driving to his house, it's 20 minutes away. I listened to the voice note of what you told me to say.
The way to frame it,
15 times. I just kept listening to it over and over and over and over because I just wanted it to be right. Perfectionism was probably playing in.
I'm glad that you said that, but you know what? Now you've got the awareness, bro. You actually see where it comes out in your life.
Yeah.
And that's like the light bulb's now on. It's like, okay, now how can I change that, right? Because when you're being perfect, you're not being human. You're being a robot,
Yeah, definitely. So I had it, Bluetooth through the car, and it was just playing over and over and over, and I was just like, I don't want to fuck this up. I just want to, because you obviously, this is, your forte, and the way you come across when you're saying what I need to say is just like, in my eyes, is like perfect. But I'm like, I just want this word for word.
Can you say it for me? Just play it to Dad. Dad, talk to this dude for a second.
But anyway, when I sat there with him, absolutely anything that you said was out the window because I just made it up.
It's always the way.
My own way.
Have you ever had a boxing fight?
No.
It's exactly the same, bro. Like you do months of training and then it just literally turns into Rumble robots. You punch, I punch. There's no slipping and ducking and weaving. That first fight is literally just, I just want to kill this guy before he kills me.
Yeah. So, but it went so well and it was received, and I said to him, receive this with love. This is not meant for
That's the pre-frame, bro. Yeah, it's so important.
Yep. So, and once I, for your coaching, I framed it, set the precedence first and he just was like, yeah, wow. He goes, this feels like me talking to my dad. And I just went, holy fuck. Yeah, and then I just got the chills. I'm getting them right now. Like
me too, bro.
I just got the chills. I just went, oh, fuck.
You've really nailed it here, right?
Now I know where it comes from. It's just, that's when we started talking about it. I said, do you understand now why you're the way you are, and now the way I am? I'm wanting to break that now. I don't want to be like you and Grandpa.
And once again, saying this with love, right? I don't want to be that same way for my kids,
Exactly. And when the stuff that when he was when I was talking to him about it, the first thing he said was just like, exactly that. This feels like I'm talking to my dad, and I just went, holy shit. Like I didn't expect that at all. I expected a lot of resistance, but it was the complete opposite.
Beautiful, bro.
And so I couldn't be any more thankful to you for that, for coaching and guidance through that moment. And since that was just before Christmas, when we sort of reconnected, and since then it's been pretty good. Yeah, well, it's been very good actually. He's had one little slip up on the piss, but not nowhere to the level that he used to be at. Yeah. Only very minor. Yeah. Which now I can accept, because he's had another 25 years on top of me of alcoholism. So it's going to be, very hard for him to not drink ever again. However, he has a few mids at home, and he doesn't go out in public now. If he ever does have a few mids, doesn't drink heavy, very. And
you said he's the only bloke they can get absolutely fucking shit faced off mids though.
I did say that actually.
That's a skill in itself.
He called me one day. I'm like, you've been drinking again. Oh, I've only had 4. I said, you've had 44.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking drinking mids.
Yeah.
Oh, I only drink mids, they're not that bad for you. Yeah, I was just slopping his words a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I'm only going to have half a line. But one thing I want to say there, bro, is this is something that I'd love to speak more into is, that whole reliving the experience that we do with the timeline therapy that takes you back to those memories. What it actually allows you to do is desensitize yourself to the emotions, because there's obviously, and especially for you, 25 years of suppressing those feelings, those thoughts and those emotions. There's a lot of built up resentment. There's a lot of built up anger and whatever it might be, like a negative charge around the emotion. And when we go through that timeline therapy, what we're actually doing is we're rewriting the emotion that you have attached to it. Because what you've done there, like you said, you were able to write the letter for him. And that's part of the timeline process is now you've got the forgiveness, but you're also letting him know how you feel. But for him to say, that's me talking to my dad, what it's actually done, bro, is it's actually desensitized yourself to the emotion, because you would have been like, fuck you, why are you like this? Now it's giving you understanding. And because you got curious, right? And I quote Cooper Chapman here, as I always do, right? Getting curious instead of furious. And you would literally change the way that you show up for your relationships in all ways, right? And that's something that's really helped me, is asking more questions. Because I went through exactly the same process with my dad. I sat ayahuasca and I saw my parents splitting up, and I had so much hatred towards my dad because he'd left my mum for another woman. Right, but what I saw when I sat the ayahuasca at the time when she was telling us that they'd broken up was a broken man that had been in a relationship, because my mum's very anxious, very chaotic, very much angry all the time, because she just doesn't know who she is. She's always latching onto things, trying to find herself. And the experience that I had in that ayahuasca was that my dad was so broken and he'd been miserable for such a long time and didn't know how to leave her, because he just didn't know who he was, and he was so afraid to be alone. And it made me have empathy and compassion. Also, just felt sorry for him to some degree, rather than being angry. And so I was able to dissolve the fear, or not the fear, the feeling of resentment, and instead have that feeling of compassion for him, right? Which is what and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I understand that experience wholeheartedly, because I went through the same thing. And what it sounds like has happened is that it's allowed you to dissolve those emotions, those feelings of resentment, because you didn't know how to language them. But once you can language them, once you can actually understand where those feelings, those thoughts and those emotions are coming from, you can then choose to attach something else to it. And that's a beautiful thing, bro. That is powerful, man.
Yeah, for sure. And in the last couple of weeks, some of the worksheets that I'm up to in the New Age Man courses, bringing up a lot more awareness around, the one I've been doing recently is about the ego, and which is brought, and talking about footy culture. Fuck, there's some big egos that float around football, and who's the big dog, and who played well that day, and everyone likes playing well, and get upstairs, and all supporters like, fuck, you were best on today, and it just pumps your ego so much. And but
then you look for that, right? Because you get the validation, you want more of it.
Fucking oath.
And it's like the unquenchable thirst when you start to get that. It's the same with drugs and alcohol, right? The more of them you have, the more of them you need to get the same feeling. Your set point for happiness is so much higher now. So you're down here. And if you're not getting the validation, then you feel like you're not enough. And you need to continually do the things to get more and more and more and more. It's that need for achievement, right?
Funny you're saying that now. Even I think about that right now even more. I'm like, because you'd get up, you'd cut, if you played well and you're down the change rooms and, you're all had a win.
Slap on the ass, let's go.
Oh, you win that day, especially if it's a good, a closer game, that's a big game. And, and big games, you want to perform in big games when, the local crowds are big when it's big games. And, you want to perform. And if you're in the rooms, all supporters come in the rooms after when, you've had a win, you sing the song and, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world, winning and singing the song with all the lads. And then it's like, right, where are we going tonight? Whose house are we going to first?
Yep.
You're going upstairs for a beer.
Yep.
You're going, and if you've played well, you want to go upstairs because you're going to get beers bought for you.
Yeah.
You're going to get slaps on the back. It's almost like as soon as you walk through the doors, everyone looks at you and starts fucking... Chest out.
Yep.
Everyone's been on the balcony or on the grandstand for the day, like all the supporters drinking piss. So you get upstairs, they're all full of juice. Fucking everyone knows what happens when you're full of juice. liquid confidence. All the oldies, fucking well done. You done so well today. Best on. What about that moment out there? That goal you kicked, this, that, and you're just going, fucking oath.
I'm the man.
I am the man.
Yeah.
And then, beers bought for you. And then it turns to like, yeah, what are we doing tonight? Where are we going? Whose house are we going to after? Fucking all the things that are unhealthy for you, but not only from a personal point of view, a recovery point of view. You just normally in the ice bars after games, and the next day you want to sleep, you want to eat well, you want to get the protein in, all this sort of stuff. No.
You're not sleeping for the next few days. Not Monday, bud. Let's go.
You're putting beer straight in your fucking system. Beer, vodka,
all the food groups.
Alcohol,
all the food groups.
Then you're fucking going to KFC or a pizza joint or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you're eating a fucking big Palmer at the pub. On away games. This is another thing. On away games, the awards, because you have awards, it's a pub somewhere. So you're just constantly around alcohol and that environment of drinking, and it just it just is relentless.
Yep.
Like it's literally relentless. And if you're not drinking, why aren't you drinking?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Don't be a fucking pussy.
Don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
You get all this stuff, and then that gets into your head. Oh fuck! I'll just have one. Then you have another.
Yeah.
And someone buys you one, and then next thing you know, you've fucking ran someone's kitchen bench at 4:30 in the morning still.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a toxic culture.
Yeah.
Sporting clubs and
It can be. Right. There's such a healthy element to it. But where there's dark, there's always light.
Yes.
Where there's dark, there's always light. We have to have the darkness, otherwise we can't have the light. We don't have comparison, right? There's no polarity. But in everything, right? Especially but sporting cultures, especially, man, I think there is a lot more of that that toxic side of things. And if not, it's a lot more accentuated because of the nature of the beast, right? Because it's like there's high highs and lows. On the sporting field, in the fucking clubhouse, in the afterwards the after parties, there's always the high highs. But then what happens when when you're not so low, or when you don't get the win, then you're even lower. And then what do you want to do? You want to do the same thing to numb that pain.
Yeah, to feel good again. Like, you got to drown the sorrows.
Yeah.
Michael, where does it fucking stop?
The subconscious remembers that your set point for happiness was doing those things previously, because what happened, you win the game, right? That's actually the high point. But then you go and drink the drugs. You go and drink the piss and you eat the drugs, and now like your set point's even higher, because it's like, okay, my body remembers that this was the time that I felt the best. But it originally wasn't even because of the drugs and alcohol. It was because of the experience that came with that. But then we attach ourselves to the drugs and the alcohol because they're the things that bring the dopamine that quick.
Yep,
definitely. And so when you're feeling like shit, what do? You just go, well, I'll just do the thing that made me feel good again.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't winning the game. It was the drugs and the alcohol, which really it was actually winning the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I need to probably pull myself up there around saying there's such a toxic culture, because there is two sides of it, as you explain. But my belief, and it's because of my experience, was how can I feel the best possible way I can?
Yeah.
And that was just to blow out on the piss.
Yep.
Created, and then ended up creating an identity for myself that I'm the party animal. I'm the
Matty the monster.
I'm the off-field leader. Like I was a captain at one stage for a while there, and so I was, people would give you validation that they're looking for your leadership and your opinion and your thoughts, and you'd give that, and then once you finish footy, they're looking for it again. So then
where are we going next, boys?
Yeah, and I'd be the one leading a lot of that too. Right, we're going to this bloke's joint here, prees, then we're going to this pub, then we're going nightclubbing, and I'd be dragging, everyone along, saying, come on. And I was that one saying, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking piss? Like, what's wrong with you? Pussy, you're going home to your missus, eh? Like, all this, real toxic behaviour.
Yeah.
And it was just, after, 10, 12 years of it, I was just like, this is fucking so bad. Like, I need to change. Like, I don't want to live like this. And
so where was the pivotal moment for you? Where was the turning point? Because I remember we had that conversation, obviously, but what was it that really led to that turning point for you?
Obviously coming across your stuff on Instagram.
Bit of a slap in the face at times.
Oh, massive slap in the face. And like seeing that, and I already knew for a while prior, but seeing that just confirmed, like I'd worked with a mentor previously. I've had business coaches previously and done bits and pieces, but seeing your stuff is literally was relatable like 100%. You know, you see other stuff, it's like, yeah, you know, you're a bit relatable.
I
But
can relate to an element of that.
Yeah, I can relate to parts of that. But this was like the whole lot. And I'm like, fuck. The marketing
It's a fucking
message
kick
you've
in the
got,
jaw, bro.
the marketing message you had was just literally spoke to me like, you know, I know a bit about marketing message through being in business, but that just hit me straight between the eyes. I'm like, this is a bloke I need to be working with.
I'm glad, bro.
And then, yeah, obviously the journey's certainly far from finished at the moment.
Yeah,
but
man.
that was a pivotal moment in my decision making around I need to commit to something longer term rather than, you know, a 6-week course or a 12-week course or, you know, a short course thing. Like I knew I had to, because I always get shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
Commit to something for 4 to 6 weeks. All great, put in the
next
work
thing,
for a bit.
The next thing, yeah.
Then like, fuck, this is hard. Fuck that. I don't want to, you know, it gets uncomfortable. But, and I had moments through this as well, like,
not doing the coursework,
this is hard. And I'm behind in the coursework. Christmas came, like, you know, business was hard. Like, things were hard for a while. I'm like, nah, fucking just keep pushing through. Like, you'll get through it. And, you know, I am getting through it again now and getting a bit of momentum. And
100%.
But, yeah, just I was at a stage in business as well after acquiring. So me and my business partner have been in business for about 10 years now. I think we're coming up to 10 years must be this month actually, in Feb. And we had an opportunity 2.5 years ago to buy out another guy, another builder in another location, an hour away from where our business started. And that was all going all right. And about a month later, the interest rates started going up every single month. So obviously the housing market, people couldn't afford it. It was about a COVID boom in the building industry. If anyone doesn't know about that, you've been living under a rock. And then land prices started skyrocketing, building costs started skyrocketing, and interest rates were triple. So all of a sudden, the $5,000 projects now, you know, closer to $1 million, and it costs them an extra $50,000 a year on repayments. So we just bought this business that was pretty much self-ran. You know, a lot of debt, a lot of money in the hole, multiple 7 figures in the hole, and we're like, fuck. And then the work started to dry up. So, and then at that most of that time, I started drinking more. Yeah, bro. Because it was fucking hard.
To deal with it, right?
Yeah. To run away from it. Run away. I don't want to fucking deal with this. It's just too hard. And then you start to get other thoughts of like, fuck, is this all worth it? Like, what am I doing? Is this a mistake? Or, you know, and we're very grateful for the old builder that owned it. He actually lives up, I think he lives at just up in Noosa now, I think, so not far from here. And he's just retired old fella. And
you bought his retirement home?
Pretty much.
He's living pretty.
So, no, he's been very good and just sort of lets us do our own thing. He's still sort of part of it because, you know, we couldn't fund the whole lot effectively, and he just gets paid off in the background. And but having that is a couple of years into that when the whole world changed. Yeah. Was probably another pivotal moment when I'm like, I've got so much going on that I can't be going to work feeling like fucking shit. How can I be a good leader if I can't even look after myself?
For sure, man. So one thing that you said is you've done multiple courses, you've done counselling, things like that in the past, all that sort of stuff. What would you say is different about the New Age Man compared to things that you've tried in the past?
I think with the New Age Man, obviously it's all blokes.
Yeah.
Ones I've done in the past were
heaps of blokes, all the blokes, all the blokes on blokes.
Yeah. So
lots of docking.
Yeah, lots of docking. Google that if you don't know what it is. So obviously all blokes, and well, obviously very lucky. Like I didn't know any of the guys that were already in it, guys that were ahead of me, guys who joined up at the same time, and you obviously fucking knew no one. But since meeting a lot of the guys, it's been they've been super supportive as well, and literally everyone's been on an almost to a degree identical journey.
Yeah, to some degree, right?
To some degree, you know, some are business owners, some aren't, but some.
If we look high level, it's identical.
It's identical.
If we come down to the nuts and bolts of it, there's obviously differences, but
it's all identical. Self-sabotaging behaviours.
Yep.
You know, toxic whether it's personal life or work life,
relationship, work, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and so yeah, since joining, it's been, well, I don't even know what to say. It's been a bloody journey, but excuse me. It's been eye-opening. Now the reason why it's different is because, well, number one, it's all blokes. Number two, the coursework it's a long time. Like it's 6-month time frame. It's not a short course. Like by no means it's a short course. And obviously we've got a fucking good coach.
That helps.
Yeah, that helps. But
kind of relatable.
I think the content that you put out, the people that you attract in, makes everyone on a very similar journey.
Yeah.
And literally, I don't think we've had one dickhead.
Strict no dickhead policy, bro. They filter themselves out quite quickly.
Yeah, well, yeah, you see in the group chat every now and then this person's gone, but they never put in the work. You know, I think, and it's not a cheap entry cost, not a super cheap entry cost, not a short course entry cost, and I think for me, as weird as this sounds, it was like the more I wanted to pay, the more I wanted to commit.
Of course. Well, we have an attachment to money. That's how we are, bro.
So, and obviously when you ran me through your presentation online, I was like, I just was sold even more, obviously, because the messaging for me was right. And obviously in business, you track what you put out is what you want to attract in.
Yeah.
And since coming in, the guys that are in there, they're all the same. At a high level, as you say, they're all the same legends, type of journey. And yeah, we're all legends.
Yeah.
The reason why it's different is because it is that longer version course, and it's something you've really got to commit to. And, there's been a few blokes come through that are shiny object syndrome guys, I think, as well. And like they want to change, but deep down they don't want to change.
Yeah, it's too hard.
It's too hard.
The pain of staying the same is easier. There's less than the pain of changing.
And hence why I've done short courses before. I wanted to change.
Yeah.
But I fucking didn't really want to change.
Yeah.
Like deep down, now that doing the work properly, I never really was committed to change properly. I thought a 6-week course would undo 15 years of fucking poor behaviour. And it was just so far.
Let's do some quick maths real quick, right? Like that does not compute.
Not
the
one
maths
bit.
is not mathing.
The math ain't mathing. It's like people lose weight. New Year's resolutions, all this bullshit. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's you got to commit, and I think the 6-month part of it, and that's just the obviously the deep dive course. You've obviously got another entry level community group as well, which we're a part of that as part of the deep dive course. But yeah, I think is. For me, I don't know, I'll be different to everyone, but for me it was I had other goes at other things.
Yeah.
And they were short courses, and I thought that would change me. I wanted that quick silver bullet fucking result.
It's not a magic pill.
Nothing in life's a fucking magic pill, and it's taken 37 years old to work that out.
Yeah, I took plenty of those, bro, and I ended up fucking here.
I've lost.
Took me 32 years though.
I've lost so much, money on trying to have quick fixes and trying other little business ideas and all sorts of shit going. Yeah, I'll be fucking making $1 million after doing a 6-week course, and it just doesn't happen. And it's the same.
Do it once, do it right. Yeah.
Same with personal development work, and probably one thing that's also helped me in the New Age Man is the other guys we've got in it, and and they show up for each other, and we show up for each other, and
bro.
And not only that, like the amount that you show up in the group messages as well for everyone, the coursework calls, the community calls weekly, like each month's a different topic. I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, fuck, this bloke's just relentless. A new topic this week. I'm like, fuck, he's put in the work, but like to have a fucking good program that guys want to hang around and want to be a part of. Like in that community calls we run once a week, like that's on top of our other coursework. So you can't get fucking bored, I tell you right now. Like it's just
if
a lot of work.
If you're leaning, you're going to continue to grow, right?
The more you put in,
Yeah.
the more you're going to get out. And that's where I feel that, you know, I probably made the realisation after being in sort of 3 months, I'm like, fuck, this is just never ending. Like, I was thinking things were going to, like, not slow down, but you feel you're getting closer to a finish line to a degree. But it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And, you know, it's a credit to you, the work that you've put into it, into your business.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
into your
that,
business,
man.
the time that you're investing back into yourself and into the business. And the same thing, you're only going to get more out of it with more guys coming in. And I think I don't know how many we got in there now in the
40.
deep dive. 40 is there. You know, everyone's going to become a raving fucking billboard for you, and I know I am, and always trying to get a couple of my other mates that have similar traits to me and to come and join, but I haven't quite got anyone over the line. But you know, all the guys that are, you know, there's guys that put in a lot more than other guys, but those guys are going to be raving fans, and you know, I know I am, and
thank you, bro.
It's just an amazing community to be a part of, and it's changing my life like no other.
Appreciate that, man. And it's not just changing your life, bro. It's changing the lives of others as well, just by the ripple effect of how you affect those people around you, man. But speaking into that quickly, what would you say are the biggest changes you've noticed within yourself and the way that you show up and the man that you are today compared to where we were 4 months ago?
Obviously, more energetically, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely bouncing out of bed a lot easier, even though I am probably more, not that I'm stressed, and I've learned a lot of techniques around stress in business, and but not having those anxious thoughts and feelings anymore from weekends, and you know, after sort of detoxifying effectively, you know, for 6 odd weeks, right back at the start. All the work that we've done is, you know, around emotional intelligence, you know, emotional maturity stuff.
Yeah.
Communication, like just learning all those techniques, and then putting them into action. Like you can learn all this shit in the world, but if you don't put it into action, nothing's going to change as well. And that's still a constant work in progress. Excuse me, that's still a constant work in progress too. But yeah, I've noticed, as you say, ripple effect of talking to my uncle. Like I think got him thinking a little bit.
That's really
talking
cool, man.
Talking to my mum a bit more as well, and even me and my dad still, you know, as good as it's been, it's, you know, it's still not. There's still a lot of work to do there.
Yeah.
And I know he's changing a lot. I've actually bought him there's a book called Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story.
Yeah. Tell me about this, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I bought it. I sent it online. Funny how the internet follows you around after talking about this stuff. These stuff started popping up in my feeds.
The universe, the algorithm, whichever one you want to call it.
So I put that in front of me, which I was like, yep, I need this. And he's actually completed it. I just haven't gone and seen him to pick it up yet. And flicking through it, you know, it talks a lot about his upbringing and his story and his remembrance of his parents, and if he's got memories of his grandparents, and a bit of family tree stuff, and his sporting, and what his room was like when he was growing up, and all these real deep childhood memories.
Wow.
So I'm excited to read that and see what he's going to say, because it's going to be like him writing his letter. I'm
gonna get one of those. I actually want to give one of those to my dad. That sounds really cool, dude. Sounds really, really cool.
So I am very interested to read that. So, but for him, what that would have done for him subconsciously is he's effectively journaling out his childhood and probably bringing up a lot of memories and a lot of shit. Like me journaling or writing a letter to my dad. Just writing that letter felt like you'd let go of a lot of, you know, pent up energy and stuff. So that's going to do that for him, and he doesn't even know it. But I know it.
So wild, hey.
Yeah. So
wild, man. That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful.
I actually bought one for me mum as well, although, you know, I don't have any real
any mummy wounds.
Any mummy wounds? I don't think. But I bought one for her as well, and I was sort of talking to her a lot about the work we've been doing as well, and just the same thing for her. It's, you know, I feel that she's got some traumas definitely around. She grew up in housing commission and a bit of a hard knock story, and I feel that's probably where I've got my. She's doing so well for herself now after they divorced, and you know, she's been remarried to a great guy and great man, built herself and built her life up once she split. You know, she was 20 when she had me.
Wow.
And then split when I was 14, so she would have been 34. Three kids in their early teens. You know, that are high energy at that age, and there's shit going everywhere. So she's
barely an adult herself.
Exactly, and you know, I'm 3 years older than that now, and I look back and go, "Fuck, how? Like, how'd you do that?" Like,
that's interesting, actually. That's
so interesting. Yeah. You know, when I think about my age now and what she was doing at 3 years younger, with a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
It's wild, isn't it?
I'm like, holy hell! Like, fucking survive. Like, you know, financially. Literally, like financially, really. Like, fuck, we were that age, like there's sports and shit going everywhere. And she's just going, fuck this, I'm out. And now I look back and go, fuck.
It sort of helps you to see things right a bit differently.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her book and talking to her more about, like on a deeper level. Like, you know, me being the age that I am now, being comfortable able to talk to her on a deeper level and ask her about all these experiences and stuff now, which was I would never even dare to ask because I'd be like, that's fucking stupid. Why would you ask those questions? Like, it's a bit too much. Like all the emotions and thoughts and all the feelings. You're like, you didn't want to feel it because you're I don't care. Like, but now I do.
And now you've got the awareness, right? That's the beautiful thing, I think, is like actually watching that also take place for you, Matty, is you've been seeing the way that you show up differently and also just the way you're now more in tune with yourself and actually allowing yourself to feel, man. Now, before we wrap up, bro, if people want to find you to have a bit of a conversation about, you know, what your journey's been like, or even just to ask you about the New Age Man or anything like that, even if they're going through similar things with the sporting culture, where can they find you?
So I've got the socials, not that I get on them very often anymore.
I'll chuck the links below for them, but where would they find you, bro?
Yeah, Instagram, matt.11.kelly is my Instagram. Probably best to flick me a message there, and I'll probably log in once a month generally and have a look. But I will get back to you if you want to know more. I'll definitely get back to you because this stuff is so powerful. This work is so powerful, and if anyone's got any stuff around definitely around their father, because I've got that experience around the fatherhood stuff, and I know a few other guys in the group have done the fatherhood stuff too.
And you said actually before you came on that you'd done fatherhood work before and healed the wound to some degree, right?
I fucking did say that to you. I'm like, because someone was talking about it. I'm like, and it was at the start of the group. I'm like, I don't want to do the deep dive on my fatherhood stuff straight away. I'm like, fuck, I've already, me looking back at that now going, that's why I had to do it, because I was like, no, I don't want to do it because I could feel it.
Resistance to it, right?
Huge resistance.
To being seen, having light shine on it, bro.
Huge resistance. And I'd done one thing on it, which helped.
Yeah.
But obviously mine was pretty deep rooted.
I'm healed.
Silver bullet.
Now, bro, before we do finish up, I have one last question for you, bro.
Yep.
Thinking about who you are today, the man that you are, the way that you're showing up now, if you could have a conversation with your younger self who was stuck in the deepest and darkest place they've ever been, so the version of you that was really struggling with addiction, that was really struggling with distress, that was really struggling with life in general, what would be the thing that you'd want to say to him?
I'd say to him that you are enough and you are loved, because they were the two things that I struggled with the most, that I didn't feel love and I didn't feel that I was enough. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well, Matt, thanks for coming on, bro. Really appreciate you coming on and having a yarn, bro. No worries. Thanks for having me. It's been great, and looking forward to continuing the journey with you. Likewise, my bro. Looking forward to continuing the journey with you also.